Hello there, all you cool cats and kittens. I hope you're doing wonderful.
Yeah, anybody that can do high pressure sales, they're gonna have the capacity to sell staging, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
And one of the things we might then start talking about, think about it, is how do you all become anti-fragile, right? How do you all sort of take advantage of these changes and improve, right? So that the opportunities are there. So
just for a moment about this idea of if you want to look for top producing realtors, then then go all in and don't worry about speaking to those realtors that just began, and don't even, for that marketing message, worry about talking to homeowners. Like, go all in with who you really want to work with without apology. So yeah.
Yes, stop apologizing. Sorry if I'm going out of vision here. I have to adjust myself. Hey everybody, Shell Brodnax here with another episode of Stager Talk, and I am super stoked today to have a couple guests with me. Number one is Shauna Lynn Simon. Welcome, Shauna Lynn.
Thank you, Shell, so much for having me.
And then we have the beautiful and amazing Tori Prince and Dustin Ritter, not to be confused with Jack Ritter or Jack Tripper, as we've been discussing.
You got it.
Here, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So this episode is really about awards and why do we submit for them? Because these three lovely people here have won awards. So Shauna Lynn, for this last year, you just got the Provincial President, State/Provincial President of the Year. Show everybody. There you go.
That's stunning.
Now,
they're beautiful awards.
It's awesome. So this award was also a nomination award.
Yes.
Most of them are self-submitting because it's your own work and you have to have the work in order to submit it and whatnot. But this one, Shauna Lynn was actually nominated by her peers and voted on by the members of RESA and won. So congrats to you. You do an amazing job up in Canada.
Thank you. It was like you said, because it is a nominated award, it was incredibly humbling. To be honest, I don't know who put me up for the award initially, but I'm incredibly grateful. And this was no small year for anyone. It wasn't an easy year for any leader out there. I know I'm speaking to all of the chapter leaders, all of the board members, all of the state presidents and provincial presidents, and just everyone who is a leader in the industry, whether formally with RESA or not. This was a challenging year for everyone, and kudos to everyone for all that you did, and especially to RESA HQ. You guys killed it. Seriously, like this was not a small year for anyone. And I think it was really impressive to see how everyone stepped up. So I am incredibly honored to have won this award as a leader this year.
And as far as the person who nominated, how sweet it is that you think that it was only one, because multiple times.
Wow.
This Shauna Lynn Simon name just kept popping up, and so we're like, all right, we'll let her roll with it, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, that's even more incredible, to be honest. That's
was it friends and family though? That's the question.
Exactly.
My cats have learned how to use the computer, so
Logan
perhaps he's one of them.
Logan is your boy. He was right there.
Logan was like, I totally did it. He's in the background. I don't know if you can see him. No, his head's kind of down. He is back there. He'll pop out at some point. And so Tori and Dustin, you are with Stageforce. Now, this is not your first award with RESA at Stageforce, correct?
No, it's the second award that we've gotten as Innovative Product of the Year. I think you can only apply for this every 2 years. So we'll see you in 2 more years, we hope, as we grow and change things and, everything happens.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we ask people all the time, why didn't you enter the awards if it comes up in conversation or whatnot? And they say, oh, the same people tend to win over and over. It's like, actually not true, people. You can't do it because you can't win in that category and then enter in that category again. So it's every other year. And it's not that we just want to keep anybody down per se, but you do want to give other people an opportunity. But it is a great opportunity for anybody at any time to be able to enter, and especially a Product of the Year award. We had actually thought about at one point limiting to, once in a lifetime. And then we thought, it didn't just feel quite right. You know what I mean?
Technology changes.
Technology changes. Everything just changes over time. And plus, you know, anytime you have the best ofs, I mean, even in your local area, you're going to have the best of pizza shop and they're going to win, you know, year after year after year, things like that. So we figured, you know, hey, why not? You know, there's also new people coming into the industry that wouldn't necessarily have known about y'all before.
Absolutely.
But I know that Stageforce is really taking the inventory management by storm for our industry. And it has just been absolutely incredible. And I know a lot of people, they love your product, they love the ease, they love the interface of it. Dustin, do you want to talk about some new things that are going to be coming out with Stageforce?
Yeah, we've got a couple exciting pieces of news. And so all of the users that are watching this are aware of it. But last week we launched an entirely new
version.
Oh, and I don't know, is it face going on, Tori? We're sitting next to each other. So as long as, I don't know what the
I
users
see both of you.
Okay, good. Okay. So we just launched a new way to do scanning. So a lot of people with our tool in Stageforce, they use it, you know, our RFID technology to go scan a house. So they don't have to like pick up every item and say, oh, is it here or not? They can sweep a house and go through and figure out what's there at a property. One of the challenges though has always been, well, what if I want to shop my own inventory at the warehouse? And, you know, I want to just be able to boop, 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 put things in and get them into the system. And so we've implemented two ways to do it. One of them is with RFID. So you can be close to something and use a reader, right? And just be close to it and pop it. And just going to grab the one item instead of the 5,000 at your warehouse. You'll just grab the one, which is a new feature that we put in. And then the other big change is this barcode stuff. So, you know, we wanted to jump over RFID or barcodes originally with RFID, but, you know, we came to embrace that you might want barcodes sometimes, whether you came from another system or you use something else. And, you know, things like this, these metal things, they don't really work well with RFID technology. So you can see like right here, we basically have tags now with QR codes on them. So that does a couple of things. It allows us to, you know, shoot metal objects, no problem. And you can either use a reader or your phone, which is a big deal because a lot of people wanted to just use their phone. So you can now be at a property or at the warehouse and just grab your phone, turn it into camera mode and ding, I got it. Hey, by the way, this thing's broken or I need to move it to another location or whatever it be. And then the other big thing with QR, you can see how small it is that a lot of times, you know, tagging your products and making so that you know where things are at are very difficult when you got weird objects. So a QR code can be super tiny. And that QR code can go on the weirdest objects. In fact, I think we grabbed one. We don't have it in front of us, but it's like, where are we going to put this? And there was nowhere to put some kind of tag on an item. But with QR codes, yeah, you can stick that puppy in there and have it still look beautiful at the home and not have to worry about it. So that was the big update that we did in terms of introducing a whole new way to have items in our system.
So is RFID, is that radio frequency identification?
Thank you. Yes, I should have specified, especially for people who aren't.
Am I right?
With all this stuff.
Yes, you're right.
You are right. You're
Well
like
done.
Techie points, boom.
That's right.
Yeah. So the RFID part is just using kind of like frequency. It's similar to like Bluetooth, right? But
so was this the one, Tori, that you were telling me about that you could just like stand and it'll do the whole room at once?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Dustin, tell people about that because Tori at the in-person RESACon last July was explaining to me how it would work, and I was just like, oh "My God, that's kind of epic." So, can you tell everybody what?
Can I say something first? I want to tell you that at the last conference I was at physically, of course, this beautiful young woman came down the aisle and she stopped me and she said, "Tori," she goes, "I dreamed of the day when I would just stand in the middle of the house and wave a magic wand and I would know what's in it." And she actually got me teary-eyed because I was like, it's because of you that this exists. And so that's, my lead into RFID.
Yeah. And it's hopes and dreams and all in a bubble, and it's just beautiful, and it makes you happy and sleep well at night. No, I don't know what other unicorns we can wrap around it, but it's true. That's why Stageforce is successful, is because everybody's like, hey, we need to have a need. But yeah, this whole RFID thing is pretty much like Bluetooth, where you can go around and it picks up things within a certain perimeter, and it understands that it's got these little tags, have these radio transmitters in them. And that's how you sweep through an entire house or a transit truck or, anything else that's nearby. And just the reason we introduced this new line of product or this new feature is because, okay, that's awesome when you need to sweep and can get everything, but you don't want to sweep like a neighbor's house, and it can, how big does it start sweeping? And so you wanted to be able to control that a little bit, and that's what we introduced recently. But we do have bigger news, and I don't want to steal time here, so maybe we should go back to Shauna and then come back with bigger news.
All right, we'll go back to Shauna for a minute. Shauna Lynn.
Yeah, because we have bigger news that's.
So Shauna Lynn, I know
I'm curious what the big news is, of course.
I know.
Right.
See that little dry.
I mean,
Stick a pin in that, would you, old Dusty? I appreciate you.
super
So,
curious.
Shauna Lynn, let's talk about awards with you, because this is not your first award.
This is not my first award.
But it's definitely a leadership award. But can you just, for the people that are interested out there that want to know, how do awards really change your business? Are they worth it? Do they really mean anything? What is your
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Shell, you get a number of emails from me, because first of all, if anyone ever says I can never get a hold of someone, or who do I talk to at RESA, or how do I get a hold of someone, like seriously, all their email addresses are available and you can email them whatever you want, not to feel like bombard Shell's inbox or anything, but she's very receptive to emails, as they all are. So Shell, you've seen my signature, and my email signature lists all of my incredible awards, and the fact that I'm an approved instructor with RESA, and I'm a RESA Pro member. And I find that, when it's really interesting, actually, when someone contacts the company and I respond back in an email and they see this signature, I get so many comments on it. I mean, how does someone not see you as an expert, as a leader, if you don't have it in your signature? And not even just the awards, not to take away from the awards, but if you are a leader in your local chapter, and you're, say the president, the secretary, the treasurer, VP of membership, or even just on a committee of some sort, that should be in your email signature. These are all things that say, hey, I'm doing something in my own industry. Because I think that what's really key is, I think that stagers need to understand that real estate agents are all a part of an association. Every one of them. They are part of their local associations. They are part of their national associations. This is something that they truly value. So they love to know that they are working with someone who is a part of their associations. They don't even realize, for that matter, that some other industries don't quite operate the same way. We operate in their same realm. So same thing goes for the awards. Agents get awards based on the volume of business that they do every year. They get awards for each month that if they have the biggest sale of the month in their brokerage, that 1 month, that's an award that can go live on their website forever because they had it that one time. They love these awards. They eat them up like candy. They want to know that they're working with award winners as well. So there's a huge value to it, to be able to market it, not to mention that the awards ceremony, it was broadcast, and I was mentioning it. So of course we shared it on our social media page and told everyone, hey, go to this spot for Shauna Lynn's acceptance speech. And I mean, the number of comments you get, like, there's so many uses to it. Do the press release, do the blog, do the social media stuff. I think that I am tired of, and I'm going to say this is predominantly a female trait, though we have a lot of men in this industry. And I know some of these men are guilty of this as well, but I am tired of people not wanting to showcase who they are, how amazing they are. I get that we were taught our entire lives to be humble, but don't be afraid to tell people how incredible you are. Tell them why they want to work with you. Tell them why you're amazing. These awards help to do that for you without you feeling like, people are like, I don't want to share on social media. It sounds like I'm just hungry for the attention. Are you kidding me? Watch your social media feed and see what the real estate agents are posting. I congratulate 10 people a day on some sort of accomplishment that they made. Share it with the world, shout it from the rooftops, tell people about it, because it positions you as that expert. It shows people that you care about your industry. It shows people that you care about what's going on in your field, and that you're participating in your own industry as well, and you're participating in your success. So that's my soapbox. I'm off.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's funny. This is not the first conversation I've had about that. I was interviewed for Sue Stiles' podcast called Hindsight's 2020 yesterday.
Ooh, what a great name for a podcast. Yeah.
We talked, right? I love it. And we talked a little bit about my thing with sisterhood and young girls. And it's like, leave them wild.
Yeah.
Leave your young ladies wild. If you have children and they're little girls, leave them wild. If they are, you know, running around dancing, let them do this. If they're banging on drum sets, let them do this. If they are loud mouthed, bossy, I hate that word, it should be banned. I'm right there with you, Cheryl. That's little girls that are bossy or directing play. They're not being bossy. Those are your future CEOs. Those are your future leaders. That was me. I was always called that when I was little. And those negative
I believe that.
you too. It was those 100%. Negative comments kind of squish you down, and then you feel shrunk and you feel silenced. And it is all these bells and whistles just went off for me. So it's like, yeah, leave them wild. But it is absolutely true. We have to get over that, especially women. You have to get over it. And there's nothing wrong with shouting your accolades from the rooftop. In addition, putting them on your website. All of this brings so much more credibility, especially the real estate industry, for real estate agents. When they're introducing you to a client and they say, hey, Shauna Lynn's coming over. She's simply brill. Do whatever it is that she tells you to do. And as close as you can get to that, you're going to be golden. They're going to believe them, especially because that potential client is going to look at Shauna Lynn's website. She's going to communicate by email. She's going to see those things. And it doesn't matter. The client, most homeowners probably never even heard of the National Association of Realtors, let alone heard of RESA. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
They don't know about awards and things like that. But when they read about them and they see that on your website, it just gives you a whole nother layer of credibility.
Yeah, you're a big deal. So stop pretending you're not. You know what I mean? Like, we work hard. We work so hard in this industry. So, you know, stop pretending that you don't. Stop trying to make it look like it's all super easy. You know, sure, let's make it look easy, but also shout it from the rooftops and take credit for where credit is due. You know, you've earned it.
It's a lot of hard work. Everybody
puts a lot of hard
work into your businesses, and you definitely deserve to be recognized. So,
but one key, you got to play to win, right? If you don't submit for the awards, if you don't play, you can't win. It's that simple.
Yep. You got to show up. And hey,
you got to show up.
I ain't gonna lie to you, ladies and men out there, because some award categories, the odds of winning are pretty darn good, because sometimes people don't show up. There's been a couple of years where we couldn't even have a top 10. And, you know, it's you want it to be a much full, rich contest. Right. You know what I mean? So show up, people. You got to show up and you got to play in order to win. So let's switch gears. Let's go back to Stageforce and let's talk about your new announcement.
Yeah. Wait, I just want to say something first. The first time we were nominated for the award, I remember sitting there and I was explaining to the woman next to me why I was not going to get the award, right? I'm explaining to her why I'm not going to get it. And so what I didn't realize is how much joy it actually gave me, how validated I felt for all the hard, you know me, I get emotional, how validated I felt for all the hard work I had done, and that it was actually recognized was a big deal. So it really does make you joyful in a way you don't even know yet.
Who was it? Was it Sally Field that did the, you like me, you really like me. I don't know, I might be quoting the wrong person, but I feel like, wasn't that Sally Fields or something
Sally
like that?
Field, yeah. Norma Ray.
Right? Yeah.
Norma Ray movie, 1970, maybe 7. Someone Google that for me and let me know that I was.
Pretty sure it's 80s. Yeah, I'll Google it after. Yeah.
So Tori, I'm actually a little bit surprised that you didn't feel it on the inside, that you locked it in.
Well,
it's that self-doubt. It's that crazy, that crazy chick in all our women's heads that are sitting there talking.
You know, we work alone. Yeah. We work so alone, but with the groups like Shauna leads, we work so alone. And we're also driven that we never really accomplish everything we want to accomplish because we're driven women. So that was just me saying, I probably didn't do enough yet. And and it's somewhat true, because what Stageforce has become since we launched at RESA 3 years ago, and what it is today, with the way the technology has allowed us to make changes and the way we have brought on the right people to do the right jobs, and with what we're also going to move forward with in supporting the industry. So in a way, I was kind of right. I hadn't done enough yet, but what you've done so far is enough.
Exactly.
It has been life altering for so many people.
And I think, but you hit the nail on the head though with that, Tori, saying that, I think, so I'm going to encourage everyone to look up the Dunning-Kruger effect, because I think that if you are a high achiever, what this talks about is if you are a high achiever, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And this is something that I think a lot of us are guilty of. This is a great quality to have though. Like that is what makes you a leader, Tori, is the fact that you are acknowledging what you have yet to do and how much more you can do. That is what makes you who you are. And that shows that you have taken the time to, if we're standing up here and saying, okay, cool, all done, I figured it all out, see you later, everybody, you haven't done your job. Like this is not what leaders do. But the fact that we're constantly looking for ways to continue to change and to evolve and to support each other and to do more for the industry, that's how our industry has gotten to where it is today. And that's what's going to fuel it into the future. So, kudos to all that you're doing, honestly, and good for you for putting yourself out there. And you can have a little bit of humility, but when you win, sing it, girl.
I was very joyful. I was shocked at how joyful I was. Really, it was amazing. And Dustin joined us, this year, and what he's bringing to the table. You pray for your business to do well, and you pray to have people that you really love working with and all that kind of stuff. And this is like a blessing I didn't see coming, to have him here with all of his knowledge and expertise. So he's looking at us and, there's some industries that are more archaic than others, right? You can still fax stuff to a furniture manufacturer, for example, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But he's looking at how we're set up and how we run. And he's like amazed at how complicated our business is.
For sure.
So because of that, I'll turn it.
Yeah. So that's a good segue into it. And so when I first came on board and was talking about staging in general, I had known about staging and helped Tori with a couple of things like branding and some other things in the past. But when you really dive into the depths of operating a staging company, geez, it's complex. The realtors, the listings, the changes, the moves, the piece of furniture, the break, the people who don't show up. You got
de-staging.
I don't even know the lockbox code. So it's like, it's amazing how much goes into it. And it's almost like running an event. Like, I come from a conference background where you put on an event, there's all these logistics to do it. So that the complexity within that was overwhelming. And I know, so Tori's, so let me guess.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited. I have an idea where you're going. I'm so excited.
Do we have a drum roll? Can you put in an audio? Yeah. So Tori has had a brainchild that she's wanted to launch for a long time, which is to introduce kind of an all-in-one system for staging that goes beyond inventory management, but gets into project management, the CRM, which is all of your customers and your contacts being in one place and not going from system to system to system to system to get it all organized. But to really have the proposals pop out of the same system, right? And yes. Ideally the invoices as well, but there's connections to third-party systems you might need, like QuickBooks or things like that. So she's had this brainchild, and I was only in about a week or so before I looked at all these complexities with what's happening and how businesses either use spreadsheets or
15 million
multiple
apps,
systems,
or project management systems to do this. And so it took me about a week, and I was like, we definitely need a comprehensive system built for stagers, because the challenges are so unique. The data is so unique that I can totally see why trying to go to something like an off-the-shelf project management tool like 17 Hats or something just is great, but it doesn't really cut it. Because I've used probably about 10 project management systems in the past, and none of them are that great because you have to customize them all just like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But so what we're building right now is the ultimate system for staging that's going to be how you run your business. So
Amazing.
It will be proposals, it will be the CRM, and it will be the most important point, the project management side of how do we get these things done and make sure that we don't have things we left behind at a house, or all of these things that get you in terms of limiting how your business grows. And so that's the big piece that we're introducing. We're building it right now. But the more exciting thing potentially for the viewers of this show is that you can actually participate. So we are not building this in a corner, in a dark room, in a basement. We are actively engaging our user community from, I think, about 7 to 10 countries that we're operating in right now. But we are getting feedback from our users. Exactly what do you want and what is the priority? Because we want those priorities to come out first. And so we are going to be launching something hopefully within about 2 to 4 months, where it's the first level of this is Stageforce now expanded. A separate module will be for inventory management in case users don't need all the bells and whistles and they just want that. But the bigger news is that you don't have to have the inventory management side. You can just use this to run your staging business. So we have if you go to the stageforce.com website, you'll see a page, and I don't know if we can post this with it, Shell, or put it in the comments, but we have a URL where you can sign up to join and give your feedback and fill out surveys and be part of the beta program with this new technology. So it's still Stageforce. It's just a new module of it. And for any of you guys who've used Salesforce and almost threw up from the interface and how many options it has, this will be the alternative, which is a very clean, direct,
Customizable.
Customizable, but purposeful for staging, so that you can get your jobs done and stay organized and
Alleviate some of the brain trauma.
And it's so funny they say that, because one of the big things that I teach my students and my coaching clients is all about systems and processes and ensuring that these I's are dotted and the T's are crossed in a systematic way, so that, especially with COVID right now, what happens if the team that you use to stage the property is out of commission for the D stage? How do you know now where everything is and how to get access to the property and what size truck was used? And, little tricks to things like, we just de-staged a property a few weeks ago and I wasn't on the stage, but I was on the D stage because again, with COVID, I was doing a D stage, which I don't normally do these days, but hey, everything's different.
Were you driving the truck?
I wasn't driving the truck this time. I just came to be muscles, basically. I was a staging assistant for my team. I wasn't lead on it or anything. And so of course, because I wasn't on the staging, one of the ones who was on the staging, she was saying, so we brought in these items through the back door because it was actually better access. I'm like, oh, that's good to know. They've already sorted out those logistics. So instead of me doing it the hard way, having a system where we can easily track those things. And right now, our best D-stage system is a piece of paper.
Yeah.
We use a piece of paper that's a checklist that has worked best for us. I mean, like the idea of having it in an app, electronic, because a piece of paper right now during COVID doesn't travel from one set of hands to the next very easily. So yeah, that's brilliant.
That's true. And I think what you touched on is the key though, because as Tori mentioned, the staging industry's got people who are techies, but that's a very small group comparatively to the entire audience. And so if everybody's mainly on the non-techie side, then the most important thing is that we build this to use as easy as possible. So if you really want to just transfer from using spreadsheets to a system, great. We're going to start off with the interface being as simple as possible for you to do that, and then allow you for the people who want to get more in depth and use more advanced features, then you can get into them. So the key is really this transition from, okay, I didn't use the system at all, which by the way, for Stageforce current users, I think it's 50% didn't use anything in the past. And then another 25% used a spreadsheet. And I think it's like, there's somewhere in there is about 10% use a different system. So we get it that most people aren't on systems. For project management, that might be a little bit different, but the key is make it simple, make it obvious, user interface, right? Because that's what everybody wants. You don't want to fumble around.
I'm the test dummy, actually. He'll say something and I'll go, Dustin, we do not even know what that word means. He goes, yeah, everybody knows. It's common in—
The hamburger.
It's
do you know what the hamburger is?
Do you know what the hamburger is?
A hamburger?
See, I tried to tell.
No, in
an
app. If you see a web interface.
Oh, the hamburger in the app. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
where it expands.
It's a menu.
The menu. Yeah. The menu. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's called a hamburger. So
Yeah. I did know that. Sorry. Yes. But when you said hamburger, my brain didn't go there. But yes, I did know that was a hamburger.
You got hungry.
Yeah.
You got hungry immediately from.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So we understand that, and we're going to make the whole system really designed from the ground up to handle the varying levels of techiness
Well,
within
that's
everybody.
super exciting.
Very cool.
That is very exciting. This is
Mhm.
Yeah.
one of those things that, I mean, for stagers that are just going to get into the industry after this launches, there's certain things in the industry that have been pretty groundbreaking. One, I think, the RESA buying group to, pull
Yeah.
all of our resources together. I know Todd McAllister says it all the time that he wished that this was available when they first started, because they couldn't even get wholesale providers to even speak to them about even selling one stick of furniture to them. And I couldn't get them to talk to me for 6 years. And finally they did. And the gal was like, I don't know why it didn't click before. I'm like, I've been trying for 6 years. I don't know either, but thank you. So now this is just going to really be groundbreaking for new people. The learning curve is going to be so much smaller. The curve to get their business going where they want it to do is going to be so much shorter. And I always tell people, this is one thing that we always hear from newbies in the industry. I'll get inventory management, once I have some inventory, and it's been a year or so down the line. And I'm like, it's the silliest idea ever. You need to start doing this now. I mean, number one, that far down the line, you're going to have to pay somebody to come and put all that into a system, or do barcode it or scan it or do whatever that you're going to have to do. So start off when you don't have so much and it's not overwhelming, and it's going to change the way that you're able to do business. And a CRM and all of this other project management, it's going to be the same way. It's just going to really improve.
We appreciate that, and we're hopeful. We see the audience for this tool or this module to be literally every stager out there. So inventory management's possible where, okay, you can make the argument, I don't own that much, or I sell my inventory after a stage and so forth, right? But for project management and just running your business like every day, you need realtors in a system somewhere, whether it's a spreadsheet or something else. Wouldn't you rather have a bunch of functions that kind of work together off the same data set, so that you don't have to do double input? Like that should be a no-brainer. And, the pricing overall for how we charge and stuff is really, really affordable for stagers. We've got that feedback a lot.
Well,
Awesome.
and what's just if I can sort of piggyback on that too, one of the things I mentioned earlier is about how this industry, we continue to fuel it forward and we continue to see it grow and evolve. And I know that years ago when I first started growing my staging team and hiring actual full out stagers for my team, I was one of the first ones in my area to do this. Everyone else had some staging assistants that helped out here and there, but I was actually building a team of stagers. And now we see that all over the place. And this is becoming more and more commonplace. With that, though, the communication lines need to be better, tighter, exactly. So it's something that if you had tried introducing this a few years ago, we would have all thought it was a really nice product, but a lot of people probably would have said like, I don't really need that. But now that, again, COVID especially, my office has been closed since the start of COVID, so my stagers can come and go from the office, but there is no one working in the office every day. Everyone's working remotely, so we're all having to have our own office supplies and create our own files, and all those paper things that normally come from the office just don't exist anymore. So this is a great example of, it's great if you've got this nice little piece of paper that you've been writing things down on, but how does someone else know? What happens when, I heard about today where someone's moving team is off because they're all awaiting COVID tests now because one person tested positive. So what happens now when all of a sudden the person you were counting on is unavailable, is out of commission? You need to be able to have a better means for communicating. So I think that there's never been a better time. So good for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. We're excited.
Well, I am so excited for everybody. And I want to thank all of you for taking a few minutes out of your day to spend with me today and tell everybody about your successes, because our successes are your successes. And we just applaud you all for doing such a great job. Shauna, you're such an amazing leader. And I know everybody appreciates everything as you do.
I learned from the best, Shell.
Thank you.
Learn from you. I learned from the best.
Oh yeah, that's it. Pretty sure you've been leading since you were like 4. So you were a bossy little chick, just like me, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Been there. I know. We've talked. And and Tori and Dustin, thank you so much for coming on board again, and congratulations again. 2 years, not in a row, but 2 years total so far out of 3 years only being in business. That is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, good
Thank
for you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody else, thank you for joining us today on another episode of Stager Talk. Until next time, happy staging. Bye, everybody.
Happy staging.